Hello down there. Welcome back to the farm and welcome back to the land of ridiculous trees. So today on the farm, what we're going to be trying to do is build a bee dome, somewhere that's safe for our bees to do their breeding and all of their pollinating, so they won't fly away and get lost. There's also a couple of things I want to wrap up around the farm, so let's jump in. All of our guard towers are level 3 now, the builder's hut is level 3, and that's doing really well and coming along quite nicely. But one thing you guys have kept mentioning in the comment section is how cool it would be if all of these pens had a bit more color to reflect what kind of sheep they have inside the pen. And I thought, you know what, you guys are absolutely right. And what if we change the front bits of these roofs to reflect the colors of the sheep in the pen? So I'm going to go and get some dye and get those roof shingles in position. So here we go, 3 stone brick extra of every single color. So we'll start with red, orange, yellow, lime green, and so on and so forth. And there we go, look at that nice selection of rainbow brick. Now this stuff isn't very bright, so what we're also going to be doing is shearing the sheep we already have, and maybe we can make some like banners with the wool that we get. So we'll take some shears with us. We've also got our low shears here. Now we'll just grab some planks and go and take care of this. And again, this is going to be really simple. So we want, I think, 8 of the regular shingles, and we'll go for 8 of the flat ones. And we'll do this for every single color that we have. Oh, and there we go. Look at my backpack. Absolutely chock-a-block full of rainbow shingles. This is going to be super amazing and really cool. This is going to look really good. I can't wait to get this started. So we're just going to change the fronts to the relevant colors of the sheep. Let's do it. Oh yeah, and there we go, the full rainbow set on our rooftops. That looks super amazing. Let's get a look from the front. Oh yeah, and now you can easily see which sheep belongs where. That's so cool, I love it. Rainbow sheep. Yeah, oh my god, that looks really, really, really good. What I'm also thinking is we could even use like a different color flower in front of each of these sheep pens that is relevant to the color of the sheep. Obviously, we're not going to do that now because that's going to require a lot of flower collection. We might not have all the flowers we need, but we'll come back and do that later because that would be pretty cool. And there we go, some pathways, and it looks a lot more neat now. So there's another weird thing I want to talk about. I want to make some salt because salt is kind of useful for everything you'll cook. The recipe here says all you need is water and a pot. But if I go over here to the cooking thing, there's no recipe for salt. Now we've got the water, we can make loads more of this because, well, yeah, water is free. And in fact, let's make a few stacks of this and put it in like a cupboard somewhere. I don't know how you're going to store 64 buckets of water in a cupboard, but we manage it somehow. Now, even though we've done this, salt still doesn't appear in the recipe list. So that means to me that I guess the materials or the tools that we have in the cooking oven don't actually work for non-oven recipes. So we're going to make another cooking pot and see if this works when we put it on a tool rack. So there is the tool rack. We'll make one of those. We might make another one because there might be other things that we're missing here. And a cooking pot, which is just this over here. Oh yeah, easy. And let's go and see if this works now, because I really want to make salt. Salt is integral to most dishes we're going to make. I mean, can you imagine a world without salt? What would you put on your fries? Like mayonnaise? What kind of animal puts mayonnaise on their fries? Ugh, disgusting. Now we're going to move the fruit bowl that we have over here, because this is a prime spot for another tool rack, and the fruit bowl can actually live on its own on a cabinet like that. So in it goes, all the fruits. Deadly Nightshade, there's not much point in putting this inside a fruit bowl. Doesn't seem like it has many recipes. But anyway, here is the tool rack. Put this on the wall, and let's attach the pot. See if we can make some salt now. Oh yeah, immediately I can see there's a whole bunch of recipes that have opened up. And there it is, salt. So it might be worthwhile actually we'll make a stack of this, because a stack of salt, 2 stacks of salt, is going to be great. Just put this loosely in the cupboard, so we can grab a pinch when we need it. Yeah, and this is huge. Oh man, there's so many recipes that use pots that we couldn't have access to before. So we can make some boiled eggs. Amazing, put them in the cabinet. Oh yeah, amazing. So yeah, top tip, make sure you have duplicates of a pot. There could also be things we use bakeware with. Let's take a look. Yeah, do you know what it could be? So we're also going to make bakeware and a saucepan and a skillet. It's annoying that they don't factor into the kitchen, but there we go. There's the skillet. There's the saucy pan. And there, my friends, is the bakeware. So we'll find another spot for another tool rack. We might move the spice rack, because yeah, it can go over here. And it doesn't look as cool as Homer's spice rack anyway, so what's the point? There's a skillet and the bakeware, and then over here we'll put another, well, this is the skillet and that's a saucepan. Has this opened up anything for us? I think, you know what, it really has. Wow, yeah, so we've got loads more recipes in here. So there's also a way to sort by hunger restored. That lets you see which are the best recipes. And it looks like we can actually make a bibimbap, which is tropical fish, carrots, boiled egg, and a skillet. Okay. We don't have many tropical fish though, so we can't make that on the reg, but we can make at least one, and that's going to count towards spice of life. Likewise, stew also needs tropical fish, and flour will make one of those. There's batter, flour, eggs, and milk. Very cool, we'll make some of that. That'll come in handy for some recipes. Chuck that in a cupboard. Oh yeah, just the list has opened up massively on what we can make. Like an apple muffin. That sounds delicious. Oh, there's butter. We can make butter. Let's make loads of that. Now we have used up all of our milk, which means Dave can finally breathe again. But we'll put the butter. It should go in the fridge, but we'll put it with the honey. Because, you know, honey and butter, match made in heaven. Oh, look at this. Carrot cake. That sounds amazing. We'll make one of those. Can you put this down? Is this like something you put on the floor? Let's find out. Honestly, just the list goes on and on for the things you can make. And it's really good just to re-up your stocks every now and again and get some fresh ingredients in here. Carrot bread. Ooh, delicious. There's also carrot pie. We are going carrot crazy here on the farm. Glazed carrots? Don't mind if I do. And there we go. That's a whole bunch of foods. Now, it's going to be annoying if I have to carry around like a whole selection of food and constantly change what we're eating just to get my hearts up. So we've got a workaround for that. What we're going to try and do is make ourselves a feeding upgrade. There we go, there it is. If we put this in our backpack, it will randomly take a food out of our backpack to feed us. Now, it's not the easiest of things to make, and it does look like we need an ender pearl for this. But we can at least get started on the other bits. So there's the golden carrots. We'll need a glycerine melon as well. We don't have any melon slices. Do we have any melon seeds? No. Oh my god, no melon seeds? What are we? Some kind of crap farm? Well, we'll come back to that later then. Because we also need an ender pearl. And let's get started on this bee dome. So we're going to need the build tool, and we have to find a place to put this. Now, I've been thinking about this. Basically, when we first made the farmhouse, I wanted to be able to come to the front of the farm, look out from the balcony, and look out over my amazingly beautiful farmer's fields. But so far, we haven't built anything in front of the farm. Everything has been behind. So maybe it's about time we built something around the front. Yeah, do you know what? I think we might do that. So if we remove some trees, I reckon this location is going to be perfect for our bee dome. We might have to remove this drigme. Don't worry, my dude. We're just going to remove your tree home. And he's gone. Okay, well, see you later, pal. So the bee dome is not a small building by any means. These bees are going to want to have loads of room to get around, but not so much room that they get lost and stuck. And the materials required to make this are more of the same of what we've already gathered. The big difference is, with this building, we're going to need loads of yellow stained glass and brown stained glass. Because those are kind of like the colors of a bee. So you know what, I think that'll work. Let's clear out the area, and then we can go and gather the sand for the glass. Oh yeah, and Callum's already over here with the assist on getting this thing built. Okay, cool. So if he's going to start digging, let's get in the materials. The big one is going to be glass. Now, this is where things get a bit tricky. We have infinite cobblestone, and there's almost always a way in modded Minecraft to turn cobblestone into sand. 9 times out of 10, this involves crushing cobblestone into gravel and then gravel into sand. And it looks like, is that possible? Yeah. So a crusher from Mechanism could get us all the sand we need. It's better than digging up loads of sand because we will run out and we don't want to make our beaches look terrible. I mean, can you imagine if building companies just drove down to the beach and dug up all the sand they need to build? After a while, there'd be no beaches, and that would suck, because I do love the beach. Anyway, let's see if we can make a crusher. So, a crusher shouldn't be too hard to make. We need basic control circuits, so we do need the metallurgic infuser, but honestly, I think that's going to come in handy, because the metallurgic infuser itself is actually quite a handy tool. So do we have what we need to make this? Let's go into the computer and give it a go. But we should do. Oh man, we do. Okay, amazing. Oh my god, look at all this stuff in my backpack. Oh yeah, and we're getting quests done as well. So if we play our cards right, we'll probably get a lot of things that we need already for this. So I'm going to dump some stuff into the computer as well because, oh my god, yeah. My backpack is full. And this food is going to be a problem if we don't find a way to eat it. For now though, I suppose it could live in my backpack. Yeah, we'll do that. And I'm a little bit hungry, so let's have a bibimbap. I think this is a Korean dish. Oh, delicious. I've only ever had it once, and it was delicious. So down in the basement, and oh my god, look at these amazing glowing crystals. These look fantastic. And because these blocks are flawless, they're going to make Certus quartz clusters for us forever. Oh yeah, really good. It's always good to come and grab and gather these whenever you can, because they will grow back. Plus sometimes it makes a song when you dig it up. Not a good song, but you know, still a song. Amazing. So we'll make use of Machine Alley over here and put the metallurgic infuser next to the charging station. We'll need a cable, of course. We've got the last one left. The metallurgic infuser is honestly a great way to make steel as well. Just an iron ingot in there. That will become enriched iron. You put it back in and it'll become steel dust. And each operation takes 10 MB of carbon. The reason we wanted the metallurgic infuser though is so we could turn some osmium into basic control circuits. Now basically there was a bit of a blip. In recording, I did a little bit, which is why we have a fluid drawer now, which is pretty cool. This is from storage controllers, functional storage, and it's a place to put fluids. Yeah, so we put our lava from our tank in there, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, sorry, I lost the footage, mixed things up. So this is like a time skip of loosely about 10 minutes, but all we really did was make some steel, and yeah, we turned in some quests. We'll turn in some more now, maybe. But let's go and look at mechanism, because that's the tree we're doing. Yeah, so we turned this in, and turning it in actually gave us some basic control circuits. That's really good. And that means we have almost everything we need to make the crusher. Let's take a look. Yeah, all we're missing now is the steel casing. There we go, chuck that in. And 2 buckets of lava. Now, usually in refined storage, you can use liquids that are in your system as if they're already in buckets. But for some reason, Applied Energistics doesn't let you do that. Now, maybe it does. Maybe there's a way to get Applied Energistics to pretend all of your liquids are already in buckets. But I don't know what that is, and I can't find any kind of upgrade for Applied Energistics. We'll take a look quickly. No, you know what? I can't see anything, but if you know a way to make Applied Energistics think that you have lava in buckets rather than just loose, let me know in the comment section, because I'm actually really interested in that. For now, just a couple of buckets on this drawer. Wait, we can't? What do I... Oh, there we go. Okay. So this should be good, and now we have a crusher. Great. And the reason why we want this again is just so that we can, actually properly make sand without having to dig up the beaches. So we're also going to make, much like we have over here with the diamond furnace, we have like sophisticated chests that input and output. So if we make some more, we can probably do the same thing with the crusher. Wouldn't that be cool?
Bread again. It's filling, but I love me some cake.
Jen loves her some cake, and I know Jen from Discord, who is her namesake, and Jen also loves cake. Well, honestly, I think it's safe to say that there isn't a person on the planet that doesn't love cake. If you don't love cake, let me know, because that's weird, man. That's really weird. Because cake is the best. Even Marie Antoinette loved cake. A little bit too much, though. So now we click on the crusher and side configuration. So auto eject on. So we can auto eject in the bottom. We'll make that output. The top as input. It doesn't look like there's a way to auto pull. So do you know what? That's fine, because there is also a solution to that. What we can do is we can add a hopper upgrade to the chest, and that's automatically going to push things downwards. So we'll look for this. It's the hopper upgrade. There it is, exactly what we're looking for. We have all the materials, which is amazing news. I've used these hopper upgrades before. They're really helpful with Ars Nouveau. But yeah, we right click on the barrel. This now has a hopper upgrade. So in theory, if we put cobblestone in here, it will hopper down into the crusher. The crusher is not quick, so we'll have to leave this on in the background doing this stuff. But it will slowly turn cobblestone into gravel. Pretty good. Now we could also make some upgrades to this. We could speed it up and we can make it more energy efficient, but we're really not going down mechanism. So I'm not sure we really want to unless it's very cheap. And it's not. We need like crushed gold, infused alloy. Yeah, so we won't bother with that. But certainly once you get the gravel, you can toss that in the top, and again, this now becomes sand. This is the earliest and most simple crusher. We could make a way better crusher. We could speed it up in a number of different ways, but we're not really going to bother. We're going to get a few of these cobblestones. We're going to need a lot of sand, so we're going to just get like about 500 or so. Toss this in here, forget about it, come back when it's gravel, put it back in, and yeah, we're going to be set. Now another thing as well, the crusher sound is really annoying. So let's see if we can turn that off. Yeah, there we go, nice and muffled. In fact, if you don't want to completely remove the sound effect, I think you can even turn down the volume. Yeah, look at this, so you can make the volume like 10% or something. Maybe that's better. Yeah, that's probably better, so you know it's on, but it's not like deafening. So we're getting the gravel, that will become sand, and then the sand can be smelted into glass. That's all gonna happen in the background. The next thing we want to do is make the dye. So yellow dye is very easy to make. We can just use all the bone blocks we have on sunflowers, get loads of sunflowers into yellow dye, and that is yellow glass. Brown dye, on the other hand, we might have a problem with this. So brown dye is cocoa beans. Oh, I don't want Ooh. Oh yeah, brown dye could be a bit of a problem. The regular crafts for this are not the easiest. Dye essence is the easiest crop to grow from mystical agriculture, so that could be what we do. But let's take a look through everything else. Maybe there's another easier way to do this. Slicing. Oh, hang on a sec, look at this. So you can slice rotten flesh into brown dye. Ooh. That's actually really useful. Yeah, 1 brown dye is going to get us like 8 glass. So I think that's going to work. But how do we slice? Let's take a look. So we need an oak cutting board and a knife. I imagine we have to... Oh my god, so the fuel for this thing is quite annoying. You have to keep putting coal in here. But that's fine. Is there an oak cutting board in here? No, I guess it's not furniture. So, no, here it is. Oak cutting board. We need just a bit of oak. Okay. Bit of Gary Oak. Yeah, you like that joke, did you? Good. Here we go, yeah, a basic oak table. So we'll grab some oak, even more. And make one of those as well. We'll put the table here next to the iron farm and put the cutting board on top. There we go. Now we can toss the zombie flesh, I think, on it. And right click. Oh yeah, brown dye. So if I put the zombie flesh in my right hand, is this going to work? Yeah, that's sped it up massively. Just spamming right click here. Really good. So we're well on the way to getting our glass covered. We've got the right amount of dye now. I think it's probably worth just going through the rest of these things and just gathering up all the oak and the cobblestone. Shouldn't take too long. But it is going to be very boring to watch, I imagine. So, do you know what, my dudes? Let's just skip it. I'm going to just grab all this stuff and, yeah, I'll fast forward in the edit to when we're getting this thing built. So, my dudes, as cool as the crusher is, there's no way we can wait forever for the crusher to finish the job. So we are actually going to go and supplement that with a bit of sand from the river down here. This isn't a river we really come to on the reg, so just getting rid of some of the sand in this river isn't really going to be devastating for the look and feel of our farm. So in classic tradition, we've left the oak stacked planks until last, but this should be the last little bits that he needs. There we go, just a few more. And we're ready to rock. I'm going to set the camera up and let's watch Callum go crazy. So here we go, the bee dome. This is basically just going to be a home for our bees so they don't fly off and try and pursue flowers that are miles away, get lost, get killed. You know, all the kind of hazards that bees seem incapable of avoiding thanks to a failure of evolution. Now it looks like the Drigme that we killed his home, and he's come back to give our builder a bit of company. Now I hope he knows that he's probably going to get buried alive by this structure. The build itself is pretty simple. We're going to have a base of cobblestone. The underground, underneath the bee dome, I want to kind of leave as an open space we can use, because we want to interact with these hives using pipes and stuff so we can suck out the honeycomb, and yeah, having a space underneath the hives already is going to make that much simpler. The design for the dome itself, I wanted to make this thing look a bit like a bee. Now, don't fault me on this, I know, it doesn't really look that much like a bee, but it kind of loosely does. It's why we went with yellow and brown stained glass, because those are kind of like the bee colors. There's plenty of room inside here for a fair number of hives. There isn't enough room for trees, so we're not going to be doing our tree breeding in here. But we are going to be experimenting with what kind of resources we can gather with bees, because there's quite a few, and bees are very powerful. So here we go, a look at the finished bee dome. It looks you know what? I'm really happy with how this looks. It's got little black stained glass antennae on top. They look very cool. Also, I've used these logs to kind of be the legs of a bee. Now, I know a bee probably doesn't have 10 legs, but this one does, okay? Underneath in the basement, things are pretty cramped, but there is enough room for us to get the pipes and things we need to hook into the hives that are going to be above. And as we swoop into the middle, looks like the Drigme survived. Hooray! But we've got space here for, let's see, 7 hives. And some fence posts and lanterns hanging from above to act as like a little bit of light, so this thing will look pretty cool at nighttime. So there we go. I am pretty happy with how this bee dome looks. Now I know we have, I think 10 legs in total, if these oak logs are supposed to be legs. And I know a bee doesn't have 10 legs, so just go with me on that. I think it still looks cool. We've also still got our friend over here, the Drigme. And if he wants to hang out here, you know what, let's let him live in the bee dome. Maybe he can look after the bees. He's like our bee shepherd. He kind of looks like one with like the yellow beard and the brown clothes. Sure, why not? This is going to be the perfect area for us to farm bees. Now we do need to do some tidying up on the outside. We're going to do the same thing we did over there with the barn. Use logs and cobblestone, but there's no way I can go on another log gathering trip. I'm really tired of going out to gather my own wood. So do you know what, my dudes? I think what we're going to try and do is use bees to farm wood. Why not? If we go to logs, and let's take a look. Yeah, advanced beehive. If we can get a lumber bee, we can actually farm oak logs. That's going to be a great way to do it for us. So let's get started on the things we need. Now we're going to need 7 hives, and 7 expansion boxes for those hives. Now I've got enough dark oak, and I've already made some advanced dark oak hives. The recipe for this is, very simple. Just honeycombs, wood, existing beehives, shears, and campfires. Super simple. We're also going to need the expansion box. And again, we're going to stick with dark oak because I think we don't really want to mix up the type of woods on the hive. So there we go, dark oak expansion box. Ah yeah, and this is really simple as well. We might run out of dark oak on this. No, we've got enough for exactly 7. So we'll get the hives out of here as well. We've got 2 spare beehives, just in case. Let's slip these into position. Oh, I'm getting a bit hungry actually. Let's try the carrot cake actually. So you don't put the carrot cake on the floor. This is just like a thing you eat. Fair enough. We must be getting close to that Spice of Life upgrade. Let's try a carrot pie now instead. Nope, still haven't unlocked an extra heart. Let's take a look inside the food book and see how we're doing on food. So we have only 7 foods tested? Okay, wow, there's like another 760 to go, but we're gonna get there eventually. So let's put down these hives. Now, what is this? Why is there something in the corner of my screen? Oh, it's the beehive. It's kind of invisible. We put the beehives down like this. Pretty cool. And yeah, we have 7 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Off they go. Then the expansion boxes, these go on top. Like this. And there we go, our 7 advanced hives are ready to rock. Each one of these hives can have 5 different bees, so 5 times 7 is 35. We can farm now 35 different resources, potentially, if we want to, in this dome. That's very cool. And of course, number 1 on that list is gonna be oak. So the lumber bee, how do we get a lumber bee? Aha, this is where things seem a little bit tricky. So we have to find a yellow carpenter bee and a green carpenter bee, and then we give them both flowers. I think just like you give like wheat to a cow, they will breed and a small lumber bee will pop out. Now, green carpenter bees and yellow carpenter bees can be found in the wild. But also what's important is if you give a honeycomb to a birch, oak, or basically a log-based nest, you can actually spawn these kinds of bees. And I think it's random whether you get like a yellow or a green one, because they both come from these oak or birch or log-based nests. Is that complicated? A little bit, but let's give it a go, because we got some of these nests that we gathered in the world, because every now and again we're digging a tree, and it turns out one of them is a nest. So, not next, but nests. Here we go, oak nests. There's a few of these. Now, these two are empty. This one apparently has a bee. We're going to need some honeycomb. And if we want to get these to breed, we'll also need some flowers. So I reckon probably poppies are fine. I mean, let's double check, because it didn't... Did it really cycle through? Yeah, any old flower will do by the looks. So a poppy should be fine. Let's give this a test. So we'll go over to the bee dome and see if this works. So we'll put one flower on the floor, just to make sure that if the bees do come out, they can do something and they won't go crazy. We'll put two nests down here like this, like that, and like that. Now, if we right-click on these with honeycomb, what's going to happen? Okay, absolutely nothing. Oh, my bad. So it's not honeycomb, it's a honey treat. Well, we do have some of those. I think we were given some as a quest reward, but it's also not a tricky thing to craft. Man, I thought it was honeycomb. My mistake. So, honey treats. Treat. 5 honey treats. But the recipe for these, and let's see what it is, isn't too bad. Oh, pollen puffs and honeycomb. So we can literally just make a few more of those as well. 12. That'll see us pretty well. So, honey treats. Let's give this a go. We're looking for a yellow and a green one. So, it's gone into the hives, but has this made the bees? Maybe it made the bees, but they're inside the hive. So how do we get the bees out of the hive? That is a good question. We can keep using these honey treats on the hives, but it's not a great idea. Ah, looks like there is a repopulation cooldown. Use additional items to speed this up. Well, what does that mean? So I guess it just means we spam honey treats on these hives to lower the repopulation cooldown. Okay, let's go and get loads of honey treats and see how this works. See if we can speed it up to the max. Because that cooldown is quite long, it's like 20 minutes. So spam. We'll get this cooldown pretty low, like to about, yeah, I guess, just over 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and now we'll wait, because we don't want to waste all these honey treats. So I'll just sit back and let the cooldown expire. Might go make myself a cup of coffee. So it looks like it's happened, my dudes. Inhabitant, green carpenter bee. Oh, yes! Perfect. So we've got mega lucky, we've got a green one, and a yellow one. So we'll pass the night, because obviously bees hate the nighttime. And let's see if they're going to come out of their hives. How do we get them out of their hives? Oh, they're out. Okay, so if we give these guys a flower... Oh, yeah, just like cows, they're going to breed a little bee. There we go. So, growing time, 19 minutes. Can we feed this guy flowers? Yeah, we can. Oh, amazing. So, just like cows, you can feed him. And looks like we got mega lucky, because this guy has a productivity of high. That's really good. His weather tolerance is none. But it's pretty safe, it's pretty warm inside this beehive. I think he's going to be okay. So there's all the flowers gone. If we wait for about a minute, he should grow up. And yeah, so these bees like to interact with, I guess, oak logs. But I've also realized something else. We've got a bit of a problem with our bee dome. At the moment, the bees can escape. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, they're not prisoners. We're just encouraging them to stay around. So we'll just use some quick and dirty... Oh, no, that's not. Quick and dirty cobblestone slabs for now to give ourselves a roof over on this side so they can't fly down there. Yep, dig this up using the pickaxe. There we go. And we're going to have to make ourselves a front door down here as well. So, how are we going to do this? Well, it's not important. For the moment, we just need to make sure the bees don't escape. So we'll come back and make this neater down the line. But for now, this should work. Doot, doot, doot. Over there. And in the middle, the mahogany door. Amazing. Oh man, that's the ugliest thing I've ever built. But we'll fix this. We'll make this look good later on. But for now, the important thing is the bees can't escape. Oh, and there he is. So the lumber bee now is grown up. Very good. He's eating the oak logs. And what he should do is come back to these. Oh yeah, look at this already. We've got 3 oak logs in here. Amazing. Now we're going to keep the other lumber bees around because once their breeding cooldown is up, it's going to take about 2 minutes. We can also breed them again to get another lumber bee. I reckon probably about 5 is a good number to get us a healthy amount of logs over time. But this has been really amazing. Oh, this is so cool. There's also a number of other bees we might want to make. For example, like if we want diamonds, which of course we always do, guess what? There's a bee for that. Okay, right, there is, but some resources actually require you to spin combs in a centrifuge. It's not as easy as just getting diamonds from the bee, but a diamond bee, yeah, there's a long and complex breeding chain. So it's ender bees and lapis bees. To get an ender bee, you got to find an endstone nest. That shouldn't actually be too hard, but a lapis bee is a blue banded bee, and a redstone bee, a blue banded bee, is found living alone in forests in the overworld. That could be very rare, but it looks like they can also come out of these acacia nests. Interesting, okay. But there we go, my dudes, we've built the bee dome. This thing looks amazing. We're going to get lumber from the bee and we can use that to decorate and make it look like it fits with the landscape properly. We've discovered how bees breed, how to use these nests you see behind me to actually get some more bees, the bees you need, and everything's going pretty well. We've got loads of space in here to fill up with bees, so we'll get to that pretty soon. But until next time, my dudes, thank you for watching, and take care.